Welcome to Devakshar. Namaskar. We proceed with the book How to Overcome Mental Tension by Swami Gokulanadaji Maharaj. Today we begin with the second chapter of the book Role of Higher Values in Resolving Mental Tension. Maharaj continues, in view of what has been said so far, we can identify one of the major causes of mental tension as the presence of different urges in us. For example, as far as religious ideals are concerned, we have our basic primary urges. In addition, we have many desires of the body and the mind, biological urges, primitive urges, and such many other things. Tension may be caused even by the presence of some of the higher values in life. A person who is religiously inclined and wants to proceed towards the perfection of higher life and experiences, spiritual bliss, is held back by certain physical limitations. This could create tension. This idea is clearly shown in the Katha Upanishad, where the god of death tells Nachiketa that human beings have been created in such a way that they cannot but want to enjoy the outside world. Only in rare moments of inner awareness we are conscious of a divine spark in us. Even then, our biological urges pulls us down towards the mundane things of the physical plane. This results in a situation where a person is aware of the presence of perfection within and is eager to reach it but is hindered by powerful urges. Obviously, the result of this conflicting pull is tension. Thus, the divine urge on one side and the biological urge on the other are engaged in a tug of war which causes no small tension. In this connection, we would do well to recall to mind a person who did pioneering work in the field of psychotherapy in the West and whom students of psychology know intimately through his work. Sigmund Freud. According to Freud, it is the biological urge that creates conflict in the mind. Although in the beginning Freud called this primitive biological urge as the sex urge, later he modified the language and termed it the pleasure principle. This is indicative of the fact that there is an urge in each of us through which we derive the maximum amount of pleasure in this very life. Maharaj says, in this connection, I am also reminded of what the Charvak philosophy tells us. According to it, we have to follow the maxim of eat, drink, and be merry. That is the hedonistic ideal. The existence of God, soul, and such matters are negated. The main thrust of their teaching is that since you have this human birth, it is better to enjoy physical pleasure, sense pleasure as much as possible. But in a person who has some consciousness of higher values, this urge to get intense physical pleasure does not find a chance for proper expression, and the resulting conflict is extremely stressful. Rarely are there people who can sublimate their desires for sense pleasures. Apart from the hindrance of higher values in the path of acquiring physical pleasure, there is a term of Freudians, the element called superego. This superego also provides effective censorship to the urge for pleasure, and the mind prevents the body from finding an outlet for this. Maharaj says at this point it is better to admit that human beings are subject to powerful physical desires which they want to fulfill at all cost. For instance, a young college-going boy or girl is enjoying a lurid film on cable TV when the parents come home. They do not approve of their son-daughter seeing such films. They are deeply religious. The son-daughter gets frightened because she is aware of this censorship and stops seeing the film, though he or she wants to see it very desperately. It is also possible that the boy or the girl places restrictions on himself or herself in the fulfillment of pleasures. If a young person has developed certain higher values in life or has been initiated into spiritual discipline, he or she does not think it right to enjoy such cheap films because of the realization that such things bring him or her down. But left alone, they would often give in to the urge for the expression of pleasure even while knowing that it should be avoided. This causes untold misery due to conflict and tension. The spiritual urge, thus, has its own contribution to the enhancement of stress. The scriptures say, don't do this, don't do that. Their injunctions impel us to attain purity in thought, word, and deed. When we go against these, in spite of professing a belief in them, there is sure to be chaos. This awareness is the superego, which acts as a censor on the urges of the mind and prevents the expression of the pleasure principle. And when this principle does not find proper expression, it is repressed or suppressed. It remains dormant in the unconscious region of our mind, creating further tension. Therefore, it has been said that religious ideals prevent one from pursuing the path of pleasure. A person who is haunted by an intangible sense of guilt cannot fulfill his desire for pleasure. His conscience troubles him and causes a conflict. Then there is the fear of criticism from people around, which also causes mental tension. All this adds up to the fact that people who are not much concerned with higher values can devote their time to the pursuit of pleasure. Another cause of mental tension is the wrong understanding of religion, which is widely prevalent. If religion is practiced correctly, it can never be the cause of tension. Building upon the foundation of Western psychology, which gives primacy to the physical urges, we can say that there is some divine urge in us too. The ancient rishis told us about this from their personal experience, just as psychologists formulated their theories on the personal experience. The rishis told us that we are the children of immortal bliss. Would it not be better to emphasize this divine heritage in us rather than be bogged down by constant preoccupation with the biological dimension of existence? Do religious ideas really suppress us? Are they not right? Swami Gokulanadaji Maharaj will discuss this issue in the next part of this chapter. So, friends, do stay tuned to Devakshar, subscribe to our channel, and please do not forget to share the videos with your friends and family. Thank you for being with us.